Hello everybody, welcome to the how-to video of Play Defiance. This is an Arma 3 game mode that utilizes the latest in Zeus technology released by Bohemia Interactive for the game Arma 3. What I'm going to be taking you through today is a live preview of first ever beta build. This build will be going live very shortly from the recording of this video, and the video will be available on YouTube or on Twitch TV later on. So without further ado, we're just going to fire the game up and kind of give you a walkthrough of everything that's taking place. So let's get that going. So very excitingly, we're loading into the mission. So one thing you can notice straight away here is that the base mission is very small. It's only a few hundred kilobytes. This is running on version 1.15 of the Arma 3 development build. So if any of you are out there watching this video and you want to take part, and Zeus is not live as of you watching this video, just jump into Steam and do properties and you can change over to the development build. In this video we won't be showing any multiplayer. This is running on our dedicated server, but it's just locked to me currently for the recording of this video. To give an overview of Defiance, it's two teams. The Blue 4 team, which represent NATO forces, and the Independent team that represent the defensive forces of, in this particular map's case, Stratus. And Blue 4's objective is to identify and close locations or headquarters, and the Independent's objective is to defeat the Blue 4 players, and after a certain number of respawns the Blue 4 team runs out of tickets and they lose the game. So the game starts off by you picking from a series of different predefined kits. We'll get more into how you can customize this later, but you know, all the basics are here. In addition, the Blue 4 team will have an option to choose where they start. Again, we'll cover this more in detail later. So we're just going to spawn here. This will get us into the game. Excellent. So we'll just walk away from our Bobcat. So the Bobcat represents our mobile HQ. If it's defeated or destroyed, it will cost the Blue 4 team 10 tickets, so it's the equivalent of 10 players dying all at once. We also have some starting equipment to get us going on the base, but what we're just waiting for now is for the next phase to kick in. So each team has access to a commander. That commander is voted on. Just do it off this little menu here. As you can see, it's just me playing, so I'm the only player here. And when these players are voted, they'll take over, they'll function as the leader of their respective team. And when they do that, they'll have access to all the Zeus functionality. So that's the ability to spawn units, command them, call in other units, group, that kind of stuff. So voting can take a few. There's a little bit of a buffer to let people load into the mission, but it's just me, so load it a bit quicker. Also strategically, just looking at the map quickly here, so we're playing on Stratus for the purposes of this demo. Oh, there we go, there's our vote, so we'll just jump straight into that. Vote for me. Okay, so anyway, while that's cooking, so the game will automatically identify locations on the island. So we have town here. We have other town, we have this air base here, for example, and all these different major locations. What the system will do is it will find, once it's found a location, it will place the enemy headquarters in one of these houses, in an enterable house, and it does this automatically. So the wonderful thing about this is, we have a version of running on Stratus and on Altis already, but you could port this to Takistan or Chernobyl very, very little time, and that's probably something that, if there's demand for that in the community, that we could have set up for everyone. Also, in addition to these headquarter locations being hidden, and we'll show you on when I jump over to the other team, so you can see there I got promoted by my own vote. Um, so let's jump into Zeus view. So hopefully you've seen this before. So this is my player character here, looking badass. I promise I won't say that again. Oh, we have a civilian that's also coming on the base. We'll explain more about the civilian's role, but they do play an important role in Defiance. So the first thing we're going to want to do is get some additional hardware going. So the overall objective, as I mentioned, was to find and locate these headquarters and shut them down. So let's start off by creating a couple of vehicles, and you can see it's pretty easy just to throw these vehicles down. So we'll create a little convoy, and then we're just going to link them together. Just into one team here. Now you can still adjust things. So we'll adjust this into one. There we go. And we'll set them a waypoint. And we'll put them in a combat mode and as formation. So they'll figure that out hopefully. Ultimately, our objective is to investigate the nearby towns and identify these headquarters. So the way that we do that is to, if we don't run into any enemies, is actually to find civilians and interview them, and they'll report any suspicious activity, which will help us narrow down the enemy headquarters. So while that's happening, we'll just go back to me, back at the base. And I mentioned the mobile headquarters earlier, so this bobcat represents our mobile headquarters, and you can see here this sphere, or the circle, represents our area of influence where we can spawn and move objects. So what we just want to do here is move our headquarters further into the AO, and unstick this vehicle. Okay, well the other thing you can do as well is you can delete vehicles, so we can tidy them up if they get stuck like that. You don't just spawn vehicles, you can also spawn groups of infantry or even individual soldiers, as you can see on the right here, or even ships. Aircraft is actually spawned by a second player who is promoted into what we call an air commander role, and they'll be the one in charge of transport or attack helicopters and planes and other things like that. So not going to get to show that off in this video, but if you're definitely interested in it, seeing some CAS, then log into the server and check it out. But we'll get a boat going as well. Make sure the enemy isn't spawning any naval units. And as I'm the commander, spawn myself some transport. I'll just jump back into Zeus view. So you can see here the mobile HQ has its own radius of control. So we'll use that as well to help us spawn things in the field. Fortifications, that kind of stuff. So Defiance has a kind of a hybrid RTS, FPS kind of vibe to it, and that's kind of intentional. Oh, so we see here we have an enemy vehicle, so we're going to want to deal with that, preferably without putting our guys at risk. It doesn't look like the vehicle's spotted anyone yet. So, because of our mobile HQ, we can spawn an anti-armor team. So if they have any luck taking on that Gorgon. So MHQ is doing its best to try and get up the hill. And this is my my vehicle coming in here as well. So this gives the commander the opportunity to handle multiple things, and if you had other players taking part in this as well, then you would see them on the map and they'd be running around and be supporting them with different
Go! I'll cover!
So here we go. We're going to see, hopefully we're going to see an AT attack.
I'm covering! Go! I've got him! 100 meters! Front!
There we go. So now our vehicles can move in. Check to make sure there's no enemy infantry lurking around. Our anti-armor team will we'll send them back to cover our HQ. Meanwhile, hopefully by now, there we go. So my vehicle has made its way into the town, and we have a civilian there. So we want to question the civilian. And at any point, if you can get into range, you can tell the civilians to halt, make them surrender. This will keep them in place. This is just because in Arma 3, civilians tend to run away from anyone carrying a weapon. So, combat's that. So you can see at the bottom of the screen, I hope you can see that, there's a little bits of information they tell you. Make that a little easier to follow. We also create these markers. So this orange marker here means that the building that was selected was a building that was anywhere in the radius of 500 meters from the headquarters. That building may be the headquarters, but it may be another building that's within 500 meters. Same with this building as well, so it's 450. So it can't be both, so it's probably somewhere between these two buildings. So we need to talk to some more civilians, because that would take too long to clear as a single player. So I'll just switch back to the rifle. Thankfully, we have a lot more civilians. Just question these guys, get a bit more intel. So if we look at our map now, so we've got way more intel at this point. But again, probably there's plenty of civilians around in this particular town, which is good. It's quite a populated town. So that's the smoke from our attack earlier. So actually, let's just double check our tactical situation. So go back to Zeus. And again, we can see that it seems pretty quiet, but along the top here is our resource limit. So this recuperates over time, and it shows the amount of resources that we can spend at any one time. So you don't really want this bar to be filled up. If it's filled up, you're effectively wasting resources. Like, you're not recouping anything. So we're just going to spawn one of the more expensive land vehicles that Blue Falcon Field, which is a slammer tank. So we have a nice tank, and you can already see the bars filling up there, so check that. The other thing that you can do with Zeus as well is you can take control of any of your units. So just take this little icon here, click on the unit, and now I'm actually playing as that particular unit as well. This only works for AI units, but as you can see, we're going to check out our slammer. See our vehicle from earlier there, and whenever we're done we can just mix it right back out, and our AI soldier will go back under AI control. So where were we? Well, I was down here, so back to my character, and you can see on the right hand side there in the top corner, just under where my ammo and everything else is listed, there's the ticket count. That's completely customizable, so if you're playing on a server where you expect a high amount of Blue 4 devs, or maybe it's a server where it's a little bit more casual, less coordination between the Blue 4 players, then you're going to want to increase that number. Maybe clans or groups that play regularly together or use voice comms. You might feel like more of a challenge and you go with a lower number. This mode can be played competitively. If you play like I am, who's just single player, or everyone's just playing on Blue 4, then we actually have an automatic AI system that kicks in, and that system generates enemy units and launches attacks, and we're looking to improve it, but even at this stage it's sophisticated enough to attack people and give you a run for your money. Oh, this guy's being tricky. And I apologise for the frame rate. My machine's not built for running the mission and streaming. The mission's totally fine. I just have a sucky machine. So again, we're going back to our intel. So 200 meters from this building means any building from this location. So it could be any building in this grid or maybe any of the surrounding grids. So again, there's probably too many buildings. So we'll want to just go back to my character. We'll want to probably find a couple more people to talk to. And again, there've been plenty of people waiting to talk. Small script error there. They happen from time to time, but again, it's still beta. It's still working to lock these things down. So one other feature, just while I walked into a building. So you may be playing online with a lot of people, you may be searching through buildings, and that can be kind of a difficult thing to coordinate. So when you get more into the central part of the building, you can use this option here, search house. And when you do that, the game will do a quick check to make sure there's no HQs nearby, and then it will put a blue marker on the map for your team. So that way, if you're working as a larger group, maybe a fire team or a section going through and clearing a city, you'll be able to use that to quickly sweep a series of buildings. As it may be harder in a more competitive game to gather intel. One other thing as well, because you might be wondering why is the threat level or resistance level so low. So the enemy team, the Int4 team, they're only able to spawn troops in the towns that they have HQs within. So this particular town, as we can tell from the intel, definitely has a HQ there, but the reason why there's no troops spawning is that because Blue 4 has occupied the town. So again, we're 100 meters here, so hopefully it's kind of this end of the town here. One more piece of intel would be good. And you can't talk to the same civilian more than once. Once you've spoken to them, that's it, they're done. And that's across all players, so if I was to talk to someone and there's another player, they wouldn't be able to talk to the same civilian. Alright. Okay, so it's a safe bet. It's in this building. Maybe one of the nearer ones, but it's probably a good enough area to start checking stuff out. So what we'll do, while we're going to go and clear that building, we'll take our unit that we're using for transport earlier, and we'll just bring it round. At least this way will be waiting for us by the time we finish sweeping the buildings. So going back to what we were demonstrating earlier, while the enemy Zeus is not able to spawn forces at the HQ location, independent players could still spawn there. So again, in a more competitive multiplayer game, you're looking to be very careful about clearing these HQs, because the green team might be lying in wait for you. So this is a pretty large building, so we might have to sweep in stages. Okay, we're going to use that option. So this area looks clear. We'll just check the buildings next door. Oh. Oh, so oh, all the way out here. Wow, that was some shooting. Looks like an enemy strider. So that was probably an attack that had been launched from another town. Well, let's put our slammer to work. Maybe let's get another. Oh, no, MHQ moved. Probably to avoid being attacked. Looks like he's stuck, so this is where the remote control thing comes in handy. Oh, didn't need it. Figured it out himself. Great. So what we might do is just group these two. Let's try that again. That way they should protect each other. Again, hopefully the slammer over there is. So they're coming down this road to attack us. Not having much luck though. But I imagine there'll be more. And the interesting thing to note about the way the independent Zeus works as an AI is that he actually follows the same constraints as a player. You can adjust it so they have more or less resources, but ultimately if a automated Zeus is running and you as a human player join, you'll have all the units and resources that Zeus would spawn. So you effectively pick up and play from that Zeus. So it's great if you're a small clan or a small gaming community and you want to use this as an opportunity to seed a server or something like that. You can start with a co-op mission, and then if you get more people playing later, then you can definitely then switch it over to something else. Okay, so it's got to be this one. So I'm sorry I'm missing all the action. Okay. So we had a building over here. So this building more than likely going to be the HQ. So one thing we can do is when we search, we can see that in the top right there, there's a notification saying the HQ is nearby. And there it is, in all its glory. So it doesn't look like much, but this satellite phone represents the Independence link to the forces in this town. So we'll just run over it. We'll deactivate the HQ there. So, depending again on what server options you've picked, picking up a piece of, or shutting down an enemy HQ gives you some additional intel. So Stratus is kind of a small map, so to be expected, all the towns or locations nearby that may have civilians, this is just showing you that if you were to go here and interview a civilian in this location, that you would gain access or intel to a HQ. So we could stay in the town we're in now, as we have it secured, and maybe keep talking to more civilians to give us more intel. On a larger map like Altis, or Chonaras or even Pakistan, you may find that you have to travel out to a different town to gather intel. So Stratus is designed to be more of a smaller, quicker game compared to Altis or any other map you might run this on. So let's see if we can find another civilian. Cross this off. And then once we've maybe found a civilian, we'll jump over to... oh, there we go. Okay, civilian, tell me your secrets. Oh, and again, we're a beta, so it's still a bug. So apparently there's something out over there, but... civilian in here, so let's jump in. Civilians spawn in the houses and then run around, so... okay. That's better. So this is more realistic, so Camino firing range potentially has an HQ in there. So what we'll do now is... so this is basically the game from the Blue 4 team. So go into the cities, get the intel, capture the intel. When you do that, you win the game. So, and you can always track the progress of any game through this menu. So we can see that the number of HQs left is 6, the number of tickets. The bounty level is something I didn't explain earlier. The bounty level is so while Blue 4 has tickets that are being drained by kills, when there is players on the independent team, their leader is voted in a very similar way that the blue team's leader is voted, and when you pick up a HQ, or when you deactivate one I should say, you will start a tracking system on the enemy leader. If you kill the enemy leader, their current bounty, and this bounty keeps going up every few minutes, the current bounty is then awarded to the blue team in the prize of tickets. So it's a way for the blue team to recover tickets, and it's a way to keep games short. So if one team snowballs, if you're doing a ticket, say 50 ticket game or 25 ticket game, then if they're not constantly killing the independent leader, which we codename Hades, if you're not attacking and killing him, then you're going to run out of tickets. So the other thing we didn't cover as well is the civilian casualties. These are shared by both teams. As you can see, both teams have it listed there. So this is to prevent just kind of general carpet bombing of AOs and things you might see happen in other game modes. And when this limit is reached, if the next kill to a civilian done by a player of that team will actually afflict a penalty upon that team, and the current penalty is that half your resource generation, so if we go back into Zeus mode, half your resource generation here is going to be wasted or lost, so it'll be harder to spawn new units, slower to spawn the higher end vehicles and things like that. And then if we just go back to the menu one final time, upkeep and stuff like that. So that's all the penalties and things I mentioned. You get an upkeep penalty, and you can see as because I'm logged in as an admin, I can even keep track of how many individual groups the automated Zeus has been creating. So that's a good way to make sure the mission's working and your server FPS is good. So let's just jump over to the independent team. So we'll just jump straight over. So with the independent team, so this is a new game. With the independent team, you have your headquarters are your spawn points. So you can see right here there's been a distribution of different towns and locations where you can respawn. So we'll pick a town here, and again, like the Blue 4 team, it's a few UI bugs, but you get the option of picking different kits to start with. So we'll come in right here. Oh, we're in a church. Okay. And another thing is also when the game starts with independent players, these off-roads are made available so that the teams can start having an immediate impact. Jumping on off-road is going to attack the blue team. There's no ticket limit on the independent team. They can die as much as they want. They can respawn as much as they want without any penalties. Their job is just to make sure that the blue team doesn't deactivate all their headquarters. So we don't have a blue team AI, just because of the complexities of it, and we only really wanted to focus on one kind of cooperative experience. So you can't really practice the independent team mode on your own, but you only really need 2 players to play both sides of this mission. So we're just waiting for the Zeus thing to kick in, which will be a few seconds, and then we'll be able to show you. In the meantime, we'll conduct a study of firing a rocket at a house and what happens there. That was loud. Okay, house successfully destroyed. Oh, one other thing we have as well is Zuff's group menus. So if you are playing in a multiplayer setup, you'll be able to join, leave groups, join the groups of people you're targeting, things like that. So a very lightweight group menu. Excellent, so you see I've been promoted there, so let's jump into the Zeus mode. So that was the little church building that we were in earlier. There's our off-road, there's me. If we look at the map, as you can see here, we have multiple, sorry the map is a bit buggy, we have multiple towns, again, and the radius they're in. So once the blue team enters this radius, they're no longer able to, you're no longer able to spawn any troops there. So you have to rely on your players to defend your headquarters, or bring in troops from other locations. And again, not everything is similar. So for example, you notice that there are limited options for the independent team in terms of tanks and, well, APCs and vehicles, but the costs of these things are balanced. So it's cheaper for the independent or AAF group to spawn infantry, so they'll be able to generally field more troops overall quicker, and their influence or power or resources, the bar at the top, that respawns smaller amounts faster as well. So you generally have more options in terms of what you want to spawn and when. Ultimately, the strategy here is that you're not actually going to win and save every town, but you are going to make sure that the blue team pays dearly to take any town. So, you know, if you kill their MHQ and make them bleed tickets, or you kill their players as they try and take the town, then that's actually the, you know, the green team winning and making progress towards winning the mission overall. You can also spawn other things. You can spawn civilians. This allows you to do a couple of things. First off, it allows you to remote control them. You may want to use those as spies or observers in some way without getting your troops killed or the enemy team notified that you're watching them. Watching risky overtaking maneuvers there. The other thing as well, actually, probably go, I didn't really demonstrate that earlier, is there is actually a fog of war active for Zeus players. So, okay, not sure what that was. Someone has been angered. So what you're able to do is to prevent enemy Zeus players from going, oh, okay, I'm going to look for the headquarters. Is it in this building? And kind of looking around. Enemy land vehicles and the HQs are hidden. Air vehicles are not hidden, just because they attack from so far out, and it'll be a certain radius around your player and your own team's vehicles, players, infantry, aircraft that will actually reveal and uncover the fog of war. So this allows the Zeus player to have a lot of camera freedom and being able to look around the map and do all things like that without making it too unbalanced, particularly when you're calling in mortars or anything like that. Alright, so I think that concludes the demo. So hopefully you enjoyed watching. And if you have any questions, check out the website. It's www.playdefiance.com. Again, we'll probably be in the next few days releasing the beta version of this, so the version you just saw. That'll be available for people to host on their own servers. You need the development branch of Arma 3, and we'll have a version ready to go once Zeus hits the stable branch of Arma. Alright, thanks for watching.